Before I worked for a church, I was a primary school teacher. And children are really wonderful. My son and 2 daughters bring me so much joy. But like adults, kids can come up with all kinds of ways of being mean to each other in their words and their actions. And those harsh words and that gossiping and that hitting, that would often come out in the playground. Sometimes the children would be seen by a member of staff and brought to see me. And as I was chatting with them, another child might come along, trying to be helpful, and they would tell the children, just say sorry and it'll be okay. What do you think of that? Just say sorry and it'll be okay. Is that true? Now, it is a good thing to say sorry when we've done something wrong, but it doesn't actually make up for the wrong, does it? We know from our own experience there is always a bearing of pain for wrongdoing. And perhaps the one child will have to miss their playtime because of what they've done. Or the other child will have to bear that weight, that sadness of having been wronged. But either way, saying sorry doesn't simply make the wrong disappear. Someone always has to deal with it. And of course, the bigger the crime gets, the more obvious it becomes that just saying sorry doesn't make everything better. And even really being sorry doesn't make everything better. If it did, we wouldn't need law courts or prisons, would we? Today we're thinking about this line from the prayer that Jesus taught his disciples. Forgive us our sins, or forgive us our debts. Well, it's easy, isn't it? We just come to God and say, I'm sorry, forgive me, forgive us our sins. But actually think back to what we have learnt about God. He is the great King ruling from heaven. And nobody insults a king and just gets away with it. Actually, sin against him is the biggest sin of all, because of the greatness of who he is. So you and I, we can't mock God. We cannot live our lives as though the one who made us doesn't exist, or as though he really doesn't matter that much. We cannot go against his laws, his commands, and expect to say sorry and everything will simply be okay. But we have. We have all disobeyed him, broken his good commands to love God and love our neighbour. None of us have kept his commands with total consistency. And a price must be paid. A punishment must be received. Just like in the law courts for a serious crime. So who will pay the price? Who will receive the punishment? You or Jesus, God the Son? You see, this is why the Christian faith is such good news. It is why the message of the Bible is such a wonderful message. Because Jesus went to the cross willingly to pay the debt that others owed, to receive the punishment for the sins of others. And then 3 days later, he rose again, victorious. And so because of Jesus, you and I, we can recognize, I have done wrong. I haven't loved the people around me as I should, and I certainly haven't given God the place in my life that I should. We're all aware of that in our honest moments, aren't we? And actually, isn't it a good thing to be able to admit that rather than spend our lives trying to cover up what we have done and what we are doing? To be able to drop the mask? But better still, we can say, forgive us our sins. Forgive us our debt. Forgive me the debt I owe. And we can know that as we turn from those sins and trust in Jesus Christ, our sin has been dealt with. We have open access to our Father in heaven. We can listen to what he says to us in his word, the Bible. And we can speak to him in prayer. It will all be okay. All because of Jesus.